The world is changing. This is not news, of course. Change is the one constant in history, but the pace and direction of change in the 21st century feel different, more profound. We are witnessing a tectonic shift in the global balance of power, a shift away from American dominance and towards a more multipolar world. This is the central argument of Emmanuel Todd, the renowned French historian and demographer. Todd has been a keen observer of global trends for decades. His work, often controversial, challenges conventional wisdom and offers a unique perspective on the forces shaping our time. In his view, the decline of the United States is not a sudden phenomenon, nor is it primarily the result of any one leader or policy. Rather, it is a long-term historical process, rooted in deep structural changes in the global economy, demographics, and culture. One of the key drivers of this shift, according to Todd, is the decline of the West. The United States, once the engine of global growth and innovation, is now grappling with a host of internal challenges, from economic inequality and political polarization to crumbling infrastructure and a failing education system. These domestic woes have diminished America's standing in the world and eroded its ability to project power effectively. At the same time, new centers of power are emerging, particularly in Asia. China, with its vast population, burgeoning economy, and growing military might, is the most obvious example. But other countries, such as India, Brazil, and Indonesia, are also gaining influence on the world stage. This rise of new powers is reshaping the geopolitical landscape, creating new alliances and rivalries, and challenging the existing global order. The United States emerged from World War II as the world's dominant power. Its economy was the envy of the world, its military was unmatched, and its culture permeated every corner of the globe. For decades, America was the architect and guarantor of the international system, shaping the rules of trade, diplomacy, and security. But this era of unipolarity is coming to an end. One of the most visible signs of America's decline is the erosion of its economic power. Once the world's leading manufacturer, the United States has seen its industrial base hollowed out by globalization and automation. Millions of manufacturing jobs have been lost, leading to economic insecurity and social unrest. At the same time, the rise of China as an economic powerhouse has challenged America's technological and industrial dominance. Todd argues that the decline of American power is not just economic, but also cultural. He points to the erosion of the Protestant work ethic, the rise of individualism and consumerism, and the decline of traditional values as signs of a society in decay. He argues that these cultural shifts have led to a decline in social cohesion, a loss of national purpose, and a weakening of the institutions that once made America strong. The consequences of America's decline are being felt around the world. As the United States retreats from its global commitments, a power vacuum is emerging. This vacuum is being filled by other actors, both state and non-state, who are challenging the existing order and pursuing their own interests. The result is a world that is more uncertain, more unstable, and more dangerous. The presidency of Donald Trump was a watershed moment in American history. Trump's election and his subsequent presidency exposed deep divisions in American society and accelerated the country's decline on the world stage. Trump's America First policies, his disdain for international institutions, and his erratic behavior alienated allies and emboldened adversaries. Todd sees Trump as a symptom of America's decline, rather than its cause. He argues that Trump's rise to power was made possible by the long-term structural changes that have weakened American society and eroded its institutions. Trump's appeal to nativism, protectionism, and isolationism resonated with a segment of the American population that felt left behind by globalization and cultural change. Trump's presidency also highlighted the growing polarization of American politics. The Republican and Democratic parties have become increasingly divided on a range of issues, from healthcare and immigration to climate change and foreign policy. This polarization has made it difficult to address the country's most pressing challenges and has further eroded trust in government. While Trump's presidency was undoubtedly a tumultuous period in American history, it is important to remember that the challenges facing the United States predate his time in office and will persist long after his departure. Addressing these challenges will require a sustained commitment to reform and renewal both at home and abroad. The decline of American power has coincided with the rise of new centers of power, particularly in Asia. China, with its vast population, dynamic economy, and growing military capabilities, is the most obvious example. But other countries, such as India, Brazil, and Indonesia, are also gaining influence on the world stage. This rise of new powers is leading to a more multipolar world, one in which power is more diffuse and no single country can dictate the terms of the international order. This shift towards multipolarity is creating both opportunities and challenges. On the one hand, a more multipolar world has the potential to be more balanced and less prone to the kind of great power conflict that characterized the 20th century. With multiple centers of power, no single country can easily dominate the others. This creates incentives for cooperation and dialogue as countries seek to build relationships and forge alliances to advance their interests. On the other hand, a multipolar world is also likely to be more complex and unpredictable. With more actors vying for influence, the rules of the game are less clear and the potential for miscalculation and conflict is greater. The rise of new powers is also challenging the existing international order, which was largely created by and reflects the interests of the West.